My name is Jack Kraft. I live at Oaks Creek Ranch, which is in the Texas Panhandle, about 70 miles southeast of Amarillo. The ranch is a commercial beef cattle operation. It's been in the family since 1940 and run about 450 cows on the property. You know, I wasn't counting on the fact that it would take me almost 20 years to find a wife who's willing to live the life that's out here, that I could, could take the other parts of me as well. You have assets, but you don't have cash. And so, it's not a lavish life. It's in many ways that are not to do with money. It's a very rich life, but it's not a super materially suburban great life like that. I think that there are two styles of management. You can approach things very scientifically, where that's the only answer and you have to measure everything and record it and make assessments based on these very objective measurements. Or you can have a breadth of knowledge that you can really only gain by being here. My favorite part and my least favorite part are very closely related. I love handling a set of cows that have been trained to handle well. They're gentle, and people have gone through the right set of steps. There's a real craftsmanship in that, and the husbandry that causes the animals to act that way. And you handle a set of cows and you do the job and things work well. Sometimes things happen and they don't work well, and that's okay. But what I really hate is when you have some idiot who mishandles things and causes it all to mess up, and that's the most frustrating thing for me. Every operation's unique, and everybody has different debts that they're servicing, different lifestyles that they're trying to live, and I live pretty conservatively. I eat well and try to have decent tools, and that's about it. What the changes are is the economy of scale continues to increase. As the margins narrow, you've got to be leaner and run things leaner. And the example of that is when my grandfather came to this ranch. It was my great-grandfather, a full-time hired hand, 2 teenage sons, and pretty much a permanent part-time hired hand. And you skip forward another 20 years to my father, and there was my father, my brother, and all of my family, would help do whatever we needed to. And one hired hand, and today there's me. And I'm able to do it because of some changes that some technological advances. But at the same time, technology is expensive. And, sometimes doing things the old way is cheaper. Buster Welch, who's a really successful horse trainer, which is pretty rare, and I asked him once if he thought ranching was more of an art or a business, and he said, without a doubt, ranching is an art that must be run as a business. And I really like that. That's how the sculpture that I make sort of pays attention to these details, and that I'm not even aware of. And I think that what most artists do is sort of synthesize information that's floating around in the collective ether, and they're attuned to that, and they take that information and use it to create something. They take that information and filter it through their life experiences and come out with something that's in some way unique. A lot of what it is in cowboying, your relationship to the cattle that you're handling is very fine. And there's some people who've done studies who their fight or flight points on animals, and it's about the shoulder of a cow. And really good cowboys knew that from experience. They couldn't verbalize it. They didn't know where it was, but you were always at that point when you wanted to turn something. And so it's a real fine, constantly adjusting thing. And when you're handling cattle, you really have to give the animal time. They may not want to do what you want them to do. And that doesn't make them stupid. But if you back off of them and give them time to see the whole, they'll usually take it. And I've been able to apply that thinking to my art.